These are the technique tips for the last Northern Ireland question, question 12. These are the 9-mark questions at the end of the paper. I'm going to focus on one example of a 9-mark answer. Let's have a look at what's important in your answer. You must focus on the key question words. In this case, it's the reasons for the hunger strikes. The hunger strikes happened in 1980 to 91. You must give good detailed evidence in your answer. And then you must explain why your evidence answers the question. So we're looking this time to look at what caused it, and we're trying to explain why the event caused the hunger strikes. So in this case, we're looking to understand that many people on hunger strike did not like the government policies, and these protests were because other attempts at rejecting the policies hadn't worked. The two policies were Ulsterisation and criminalisation. We're going to suggest that Ulsterisation was where security in Northern Ireland was undertaken by Northern Irish forces. But these were largely unionists, and nationalists thought that they were biased. So therefore they protested against it. Also, the criminalisation policy identified these prisoners as normal criminals and not prisoners of war. This restricted their freedoms and their privileges. No longer could they wear their own clothes. So these protests developed into a blanket protest so that they wouldn't wear their prison uniforms. When that didn't work, there was a dirty protest to stand against having to slop out their own waste. And when this didn't work, the hunger strikes came about. And so you can see all of this is a cause for the first hunger strike in 1980. This hunger strike was called off, and so that precipitated a need for a second hunger strike in 1981. And these, therefore, are all the reasons for both hunger strikes. So where does it go wrong in a 9-mark answer? Some people don't focus on the facts of the events in question. They go off on a tangent. Some people misunderstand the focus of the question. In this case, we're asked for reasons, but lots of people can just go off on their own view, which considers then the consequences of the hunger strikes and gets into details about the death of Bobby Sands, the number of people who went to his funeral, his election and how that begins, the whole Sinn Féin movement towards the ballot box and all of that. It's unnecessary for this answer, which is all about the reasons, the causes of the hunger strikes. Many people choose the wrong question. Read all three, think carefully about which you know the most about, and pick the two best for what you know. Some people run out of knowledge. They don't have enough detail to get 9 marks. Bear in mind this is the second biggest question on the paper with regards to marks, and you must have sufficient evidence to be able to give good detail. And lastly, a big problem for some people is that they run out of time at the end of the paper. This is a key thing. Be aware that you should be looking at about just over a minute a mark in your GCSE answers. Don't overspend time on the shorter mark questions earlier on so that you have enough time for these longer answers at the end.